There's a lot of playing personnel that don't understand the Kaizer Chiefs culture.
You nailed it. There's a whole lot of them that don't understand.
Yes, they just went to a team to go play football. Playing for Kaizer Chiefs. Yes, playing for Kaizer Chiefs is not like it's not like going to buy airtime or playing for all the other small teams. And no disrespect to all the other teams in the league. Well, some of them. But when you play for Kaizer Chiefs, there's a whole lot of history that that club has.
You must understand what that jersey means.
Understand what that jersey means.
The FA of Spain, the president, kissing the lady, Jenny Hermoso. Hermoso. Maybe that's where the passion comes from.
That's where the passion comes
right?
from.
Because, I mean, I know that there are, and okay, actually, let me ask this question this way. Is it a culture thing and that's why we don't get it? Or is this just inappropriate?
On the lips.
So, actually, yes, in many ways, Mediterranean Europe,
And
there's a lot
the
of lip
passion.
kisses that will happen. And nothing would have happened if he kissed a man that was playing. It would have been perceived as normal. But the world has evolved. And the fact of the matter is he didn't kiss a man. I know very little about rugby, but what I do know is that they're the model to follow for sports in South Africa. South African rugby is absolutely the model to follow. It's a successful franchise and they do things right in all sectors. You look at SA schools rugby. You've got Noordval Cup this weekend coming, which is the high school national cup competition for high school rugby teams. Televised, completely well represented in terms of viewership. The tournament is over 100 years old, the Noordval Cup. So well done to the people involved in South African rugby in all divisions, in all the branches, from youth level to senior level. It's a model to follow that other sports should be looking at and saying we want to try and replicate this as closely as we can.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of money involved in rugby in South Africa, so you can't replicate it fully for everybody. But it is a model to follow.
Yeah.
Very successful model.
Yeah.
Old
But
school
make
is
sure
cool.
the camera can see you, right?
Yes,
If
yes,
you can
yes.
see that lens.
I prefer having it like this.
Cool.
Because I said, okay.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to ONSIDE ZA, powered by Betway. Get way more. It's been an action-packed weekend where two London sides have found themselves living the good life after losing £100 million England stars. The Chiefs are looking more like subordinates, and this is a good chance to stay on side. Joining me today is Len Moleko, as always.
Away.
Tshepi Worldwide, thank you so much.
Thank you. That was a beautiful intro.
Thank you. Can I introduce Super Sub?
Danko, I'm here.
Thank you so much, brother, for joining us. Guys, it has been an action-packed weekend. Serie A is back in the Italian league. We speak very little about some of the other worldwide leagues. We focus largely on Premier League and PSL for obvious reasons. It's our two home leags. I don't care what anyone says. PSL, Premier League's home.
Oh, sweet.
Bread and butter.
Premier League is home. It's home for all of us.
I agree with you there.
Let's start off. PSL, guys. I missed a lot of action, and a good thing I did because I'm a Kaizer Chiefs fan. And
What
Hey?
happened?
hey,
Don't throw that at me, man.
Sorry, I'm not a Chiefs fan.
Okay.
hey, guys, Kaizer Chiefs. Len,
No, look, that's not something to be laughed about, actually.
It's not a joking matter.
Before we actually go into the actual matter of the game, I think you should not leave your house, go to a stadium, get upset because your team is losing, and go to the extent of behaving like a hooligan.
I agree.
That is not
Ridiculous.
acceptable. That is not acceptable.
Ridiculous.
I agree.
If your team is performing in a manner that you're not happy with, there's other ways for you to boycott.
Twitter.
Go to Twitter,
Yep.
do a thread. Or go to X, do a thread. Don't buy their jerseys. Don't buy tickets to the stadium.
Yep.
Don't watch them on television. But do not go to the extent of going to a stadium, throwing missiles and pelting stuff at a coach or referees or whatever, because there are kids at the stadium.
Yeah.
For sure.
You know, what are you teaching the youngsters?
Yeah.
That is absolutely wrong. And I think as fans, as South African football fans, that should come to an end. And more so to Kaizer Chiefs fans, because they are repeat offenders.
Yeah, true.
Yeah, and it's not
look,
something we want to see at all.
Can I play a devil's advocate here? Was that a last resort for them, you know? Because I think they feel like they are not being heard. And in a modern day football, what is the best way to express your discontent with your team? Because I think like everything that you've mentioned, they've done that. They've went on Twitter. They even organized a strike to Naturena. You remember?
I remember. Yeah.
The protest, you know?
I remember that.
But the weird thing about that protest was the very same people who were protesting got to Naturena there and they were taking selfies with
Exactly.
Jesse. Like, come on. Like,
But that's how it's supposed to be. You know, I think they should just go to Naturena, protest there peacefully.
In an orderly manner, yes.
In an orderly manner. Instead of throwing stuff at the stadium, because it does not look good.
okay, Mr.
Let's
Devil's
talk about the
Advocate.
actual match.
No, we're going to get to the
Okay.
actual match. I want to deal with Mr. Advocate here. Jolol.
At least I see
Shots fired.
So listen, so this is what I'm saying, right? I hear you. You're going to go and boycott, right? What are you boycotting for? For the coach to go? Just for another one to come in and they lose 1 or 2 games and then you're going to boycott
This coach
again?
has barely had any time himself.
Yeah, look, I think it's not that. It's just a manner in which things are done. I think we've mentioned this before, that Kaizer Chiefs fans had expectations that at least they're going to get a coach that is known, that is got a proven track record. And the coach that they got, well, with no disrespect to
Mr.
Ntseki, he hasn't achieved anything in terms of silverware and all of that. And then he goes to coach one of the biggest clubs in Southern Africa, and results are not coming. And if you remember when we had Josta here, he did say the first 3 games for that man are going to be very crucial, because Josta played for the club. He understands what the fans demand, you know. So the results are not coming, and it looks like it's a repeat of last season.
Yeah.
What do they do as fans? And also look at the fact that Sundowns is up there. I think they are now 15 points clear of Kaizer Chiefs, because they've won 5 out of 5. You are Kaizer Chiefs, you're sitting down there, you've got 1 point.
Yeah, it is kind of, it's disappointing.
So I understand their
it's disheartening.
frustrations.
Yeah, but look, I understand the frustrations as well, super sub, but I do not also condone the manner in which they go about things. Because, I mean, if that's the case, then, I mean, Cape Town Spurs supporters can decide to do the same thing. You know, and everyone else who is
Sense
not
of
right now
entitlement.
just kissing the bottom of the log. So no, we don't condone that behavior. There
difference
are
is that
other ways
The
to go
difference is
about
that
it.
Cape Town Spurs has got 5 supporters. And Chiefs.
Wow.
So the coach can actually duck those missiles.
Wow. It's like 5 water bottles coming at you. Matrix style.
I
One
think
bucket.
it took him some time to realize that he's not on camera and he's safe. But
Right.
now that he realized.
Oh, he is
now
just
that he's
going in,
realized
hey?
he's going in.
Now, let me go back to my corner, guys.
But I'm going to pose a question to Marco, right?
Yeah.
Marco, and remember we spoke about this. It's only 4 games into the season. Already Chiefs fans they've got their knickers in a knot, if I can put it
As
like
they
that.
do. And there's nothing wrong with that.
Look, given how Sundowns is performing, the sort of like gap that Pirates has already opened,
Stellies.
the Stellies of this world, the SuperSport Uniteds
SuperSport?
of this world,
Yeah.
it's are Chiefs fans being too ambitious / being too entitled?
In the same way Manchester United fans are too ambitious and too entitled, is that it's, you know, you're remembering the heydays and that's
Yeah,
what you're
exactly.
expecting now, and that's actually not who your club is anymore.
Yeah. I mean, it's like being a
but-
hottie your whole life, and then now you go to the club and no one says hi.
But
Except if you're Halle Berry or J-Lo.
I mean, still, like, you know.
But we're not there. We're not
Yes.
there. We're not there.
But yeah, I don't know. It's like, it's Halle Berry and J-Lo, TikTok generation. Kaizer Chiefs is not TikTok generation. They radio generation and TV generation. Not even Facebook generation.
They are LP.
Yeah.
But guys, what I'm trying to say here is, right, and we discussed this in one of the shows. We look back at the past 7-8 years. Chiefs has had Steve Kompela, they've had Solinas, they've had Menadop, they had Stuart Baxter.
They had Gavin
Hunt.
Then Maluleke. Arthur. Zwane, sorry.
Arthur Zwane. Now they've got Mulifi. Do they really have to go and fire another coach to go for an eighth coach?
Did the fans protest when Gavin Hunt was there?
I mean,
Gavin Hunt wasn't given a fair chance.
Precisely. I mean, how do you want to protest over things that are beyond a coach's control? I mean, at that time, they had a FIFA ban, so...
During Gavin Hunt's time.
Yes.
Yeah, true.
His
and
tenure,
he still managed to take them to the semi-finals of CAF.
He did.
Is he the unluckiest man in South African football coaching? He has a FIFA ban, then he has no stadium, then he has...
And then Wits was sold.
Yeah.
You put it that way. Actually,
he won titles with Wits, then they get sold.
Yep.
He's an unlucky manager, hey?
Yeah, no.
But he's resilient.
Was he born on the 13th of a month? I don't know.
I'm born on the 13th.
Sure.
Yeah, no.
But I just think, look, there's a sense of entitlement that Kaizer Chiefs fans have. Also, looking at the game and the outcome of the game, TS Galaxy always have Kaizer Chiefs' number.
All the time.
There was one interview that I heard on radio where Tim Sukazi said on the calendar, his favorite fixture is against Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah, look, I mean, it does not mean that the fans has to accept that, you know. It's Kaizer Chiefs, you know, and the question is,
maybe that's
discontent.
the problem.
Is it players not coming to the party? Is it the coach? Is it the players not buying into the philosophy of the coach?
It's a combination of all of these things, and I agree with what you were just about to say. Is that not the problem? Is that they are Kaizer Chiefs?
Exactly.
It is the problem. The shirt is very heavy for players to play with freedom. It's a very heavy shirt. And then I think you've also got this combination of things of players becoming, I've made it. Do you know what I'm saying? I'm at Chiefs. I'm making the big bucks now. The salaries are fat. I'm at Chiefs.
But if that's the case, then you should be excelling and really proving, your worth.
But that's the responsibilities on the sporting director, the responsibilities on the coaching staff, the responsibilities on the management of the club to make players stay committed to the cause. Now, I'm not saying that they don't play with any commitment or whatever. Sometimes the occasion gets to you. And it seems like Kaizer Chiefs, the occasion gets to them every week.
Just some information here, guys. For the last 5 encounters between TS Galaxy and Kaizer Chiefs, the first one in 2022, TS Galaxy won 1-0. The next match was a stalemate, 0-0. The second one, a stalemate, 2-2. The third one, a stalemate, 0-0. And once again, a win, a 1-0 for TS Galaxy. So in the last 5 matches, Kaizer Chiefs has not been able to beat TS Galaxy. 2
points, 2 goals from 5 fixtures against TS Galaxy.
Sounds about right.
That's telling.
Bad. Some teams are just your is it what do you call it? A hoodoo team. There we go. That's the word I was looking for.
What does that even mean?
Who was it? It was Wigan. Was that team for Manchester City? Right.
Yes.
Wigan always used to pull, or Liverpool, and Wigan always used to pull a result against City and Liverpool, and they would be sitting 18th in the log.
Mm-hmm.
It's like if you look at the DStv Premiership, right? We knew Judas Musiamedi
will deal with Chiefs.
Will deal with Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah.
Whether he was at Maritzburg, whether he was at Cape Town City, but you knew he would deal with Kaizer Chiefs. There are just some players or some teams who are like, yo, we are playing against these guys. We're not going to show them any respect. We're going to show them who we are. And that's just what TS Galaxy does.
I think that Kaizer Chiefs fans need to accept that Kaizer Chiefs aren't a title-winning side, but they certainly can't accept the way things are going now. You can't be on one point.
But also,
where lies the problem?
then what
that is
do we
the biggest
say?
question.
Yeah.
Where lies the problem? Is it the formula that Chiefs has been using that is not bringing in results? What needs to change?
They bought players.
Exactly, that's what I'm trying to say.
Msimango was quality at TS Galaxy.
Yeah.
That's why Chiefs bought him.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Nsimango actually works very well with Dinoku because they are there at the bottom together, and you're expecting them to be able to gel, right? And also Ranga.
Yes.
I mean, I watched the match, and Ranga actually is a stellar individual. I have not seen what Castillo is supposed to be doing. I'm yet to see him really perform.
Very clever footballer, actually.
Waibon?
Yes, very clever footballer.
Yeah. So now I really, like, to be honest, Ranga to me really stood out. And Botsane, I'm also not very sure about him as yet.
Yeah, look, Botsane and Mdantsane as well, they haven't really proven themselves there, Chiefs, you know.
Yeah.
And those are the creative players that Chiefs needs to rely on.
There we go.
You know, because if you look at the biggest problem, and I saw the stats. For me, I look at the stats, and I think TS Galaxy had like 7 shots on target.
Yep.
Versus 2 shots on target for Kaizer Chiefs. That shows you that there's a problem up front.
There's no chances created.
There's
but
no
the problem
chances
starts in the midfield already for
Yeah.
Chiefs.
Yes. You know what I
And
mean?
there's no progressive play. There seems to be, and you can see why fans are frustrated. You don't see any philosophy. You don't see any clever tactical nuance. Nothing. That's why it's easy for teams to have Chiefs' number. You know how they're going to play. And we spoke about this a couple of weeks ago where I said, should Chiefs not go back to wide play, balls in the box, goals from set pieces, be solid in defense? And I got slated for it, saying that the fans will never accept it because it's not an attractive style of football.
Yeah.
It's helicopter football.
Helicopter football.
But then what do you want? Do you want to win or do you want to play pretty? Which one is it?
But they're doing neither.
That's the
the
reality.
thing.
They're doing neither.
And if you look at when Kevin Hunt was a coach, they were not playing enterprising football.
But they were winning.
They were grinding
But they were
results.
winning.
Yes.
And at some point, that's all
How
you
many
need.
1-0s did they win?
There was
That's
quite
it.
a few.
There's quite a few. They didn't score lots of goals, but they were solid at the back and they would grind out a result. And that's, I think, what you need to build the confidence of a side. I think Chiefs fans, if it can get to that, Chiefs fans need to accept that for 5 years, can we play football where we just get some results? Build the confidence of the side. Don't play pretty football. No beautiful, slick passes. You know, a little bit of skillful play. That's PSL. That's what we've come to expect.
Yeah.
We want skillful play. But can we not make the football more secure, more solid, more structured, and then grind out some results, build the confidence, and then build a team from there? It's what we saw with Stoke City in the Premier League. Stoke City was not an attractive style of football under Tony Pulis. Then they brought in Mark Hughes to try and be more enterprising, like you say. And in a team that was sitting in 10th position, 8th position, 6th position every season and became a constant in the Premier League. Then they switched to try and do more enterprising football and it didn't work. But at the end of the day, I can't blame the club for that because you want to evolve. You don't want to be stagnant. And it was a good time to make that change. Kaizer Chiefs are in no man's land.
And by the way, TS Galaxy was meant to at least have scored 2 more goals. A big shout out to Peterson. Because, especially towards the end of the second half, they were really coming at them.
I agree there with you. And a lot of people are coming for him and they're saying he's the weakest link. And I'm saying,
But,
you know, when you've got a goalkeeper that saves so many clear goals, you know what I mean? Like he saved so many balls that would have been in the back of the net.
Yep.
It's a sign that you are under attack. There's nothing that's going up front. There's nothing that's going on in the midfield. And unfortunately, everything comes to the goalkeeper and your defense. And you can't just single them out. The entire system is not functioning.
Yeah.
I've got a question in 2 parts.
Yeah.
Who is that leader character in the Kaizer Chiefs team? Minus Dolly because he's injured now, so we can't mention him. So who's that leader figure in that Kaizer Chiefs team?
In the starting 11. Besides some of the...
I'd say Hlanti.
Sifiso Hlanti has been there for a while now.
Hlanti.
Okay. Leader. Does he ooze leadership?
Yeah, no, good question. Do they have, actually? Do they have?
You know, in the times when Kune was still playing, when they had the Kunes, when they had the Tefoma Shamaites of this world, and this is in recent times.
Yeah.
You almost had a figure that would lift the whole team up when the chips were down. And some guys, let's go. It kind of feels like they don't have such a character right now. And then I'm gonna take it a step further. Who's a star at Chiefs? Like who's a star boy at Chiefs?
We haven't found him yet.
Star boy, you mean like a creative player?
No. Star boy. Like whether you're a defender, goalkeeper, Kune has been the Chiefs
Like
star boy for a long
Jabukule.
time.
Yeah.
Pirate at this current juncture, we can say the star boy is, well, he's an upcoming star boy, Mofokeng, / there's
Saleng.
Saleng is a star
It's a
boy.
star.
Sundowns,
Zwane,
Temba Zwane
Shalulile.
is a star boy.
Yeah.
Shalulile is a star boy. Who's a Kaizer Chiefs star boy?
Yeah, there isn't much because, I mean, if you look at their lineup, it's fairly new players, you know. Matt, I think it's his second season and all of that.
Yeah.
Frostler, I think second or third season.
Yep.
So there isn't really a star boy. And to come to your question as to who is like sort of like commands that leadership acumen in that team, there isn't much because if you look at how Chiefs deal with players that are like over 30, you know, the salary gets cut and players opt to go play elsewhere. You know, I don't think there's that balance where you still have like 3 or 4 players. You know, if you look at... But Bernard Parker, he's still doing very well for TX Galaxy. He's still putting in shifts.
And you saw what he did there, right?
And I think those are kind of players that Chiefs should have kept. You know what I mean? The recent one, Kama Billiard, you know, same story. He's gone, you know. So it's a new team. They are rebuilding. Obviously, they're going to come up with a plan, hopefully.
Yeah, crossing fingers for them, man. We can't put so much pressure on them.
You don't bring down a whole building and try build from scratch. Like you need to have you need to have an idea of what you're building around, right?
Yeah, because obviously...
Especially where football is involved.
Yeah.
So you can't just like chop. Like, are they building around Santi? No, obviously.
Nope.
Not Frostler.
What about new signings, Thabo Chele?
No, they couldn't get him to sign through. He could have probably made a huge difference.
They have Castillo, they have Shiva, and then the defense, they have that Dinokwe Lim Simango here because they had to replace.
What I'm saying is
Simango to be that leader, you know, with his experience. But I think he has
Modi
to...
also is experienced.
Yeah, I mean, he was captain for TX Galaxy, but you just joined Kaizer Chiefs. It's a big club. You know, you're probably going to be overwhelmed in the few games. But I think going forward, I think Simango is the guy that can command that team, in my view.
And just to interject there, sorry.
No worries.
But the idea of a new player coming in and receiving captaincy, the morale issue that causes with the players who are existing is like, why am I overlooked for this role when I've been serving this club, when I've been serving this badge?
Yeah, but you don't have to be a captain to at least lead. You know what I'm saying?
Sure,
you can still lead on the side. You know, you can... I mean, he's a defender. A defender usually... Sir Alex Ferguson did say, defenders wins you titles. You know what I mean?
Yeah. But I just think the long and short of it... there's a lot of playing personnel that don't understand the Kaizer Chiefs culture.
You nailed it. There's a whole lot of them that don't understand.
Yes, they just went to a team to go play football. Playing for Kaizer Chiefs. Yes, playing for Kaizer Chiefs is not like it's not like going to buy airtime or playing for all the other small teams. And no disrespect to all the other teams in the league. Well, some of them, but when you play for Kaizer Chiefs, there's a whole lot of history that that club has.
You must understand
legacy,
what that jersey means.
Understand what that jersey means. And I think more than anything, this season that jersey is much heavier than the previous ones because they're wearing a jersey that almost has that retro feel to it. It's got that nostalgia feel to it because the technical sponsors were the technical sponsors during the Kaizer Chiefs glory days. When
Jacob Sisewe.
Exactly, you know? Yeah. So when you wear the jersey, you're not just wearing a jersey just so you go play and then like, okay, cool, can I have my match fees?
It's a purpose.
No.
There needs to be some type of direction.
Do the current crop of Kaizer Chiefs players understand that when that team loses, just like Pirates, Sundowns, I will excuse it a bit, they're slowly trying to get there. Like, families get divided.
Yep. Yep, that's a fact.
There's unhappiness that is brought into households around the country.
Around the country.
Yeah.
Not true.
Not just in...
Kaizer Chiefs is a big
not
club.
just in Soweto or in
you know.
Johannesburg.
And I agree with you. I think they have a lot of players that don't understand the importance of wearing that jersey. And also, I also blame the management at Kaizer Chiefs, for letting go of experienced players like Matoro. He's been at Chiefs for almost 10 years.
Yeah,
he was
Matoro
just
had
let
to
go.
go.
You know what I mean? All
Dube's
those comes
out.
to play.
Gezana's gone.
So the list is endless. So I think a lot of changes needs to happen at Kaizer Chiefs. But the unfortunate part is every strategic position ends with the family being in charge.
Okay, but there's something.
Yo,
Okay, let me
that's
just
a big
switch gears a
statement,
little.
Let's fully switch gears.
Yes.
Because
Because this is
will leave
Chiefs.
it
We can
Yeah.
sit and talk about Kaizer Chiefs
The
at
whole
the entire
episode.
exactly.
Aye.
Guys,
But-
there's a team that I want us to keep a lookout for. Polokwane City.
And they
Polokwane.
beat Cape Town Spurs.
Polokwane has been.
The new boys.
Be careful of those.
Oh, the old boys are
Do you
like new
see how they
boys.
play?
Look, Polokwane City have always played some
Yeah.
enterprising football at the start
Yeah.
of a season. But somewhere, somehow, they tend to go off track.
Yes, that's true. That's what happens to them. They do deflate. But as it stands, man, they're playing beautiful football.
Okay, so speaking of beautiful football, should we even talk about Sundowns?
What about them?
Wednesday night beat Richards Bay 1-0.
And then?
Saturday they beat Tshepi United 2-0.
Yeah.
Bring them.
Yeah. Hey,
They were
I
brought.
like that coach. Morgan.
No, Morgan. And look, it's the attitude that he has, right?
No.
You cannot be going up against the Sundowns and be like, Ish, we'll try,
Come
we'll see how
on.
we're
Yeah.
going to do.
Yeah.
No, tell them they must come.
Well.
It's 11 versus 11.
Let's go.
I mean, how was it for Morgan to start with Kaizer Chiefs? Then Orlando Pirates.
And then Sundowns.
And then Sundowns. Yes.
Look,
Who did they fixtures for them?
look, on the bright side for them, I think the worst for now is over.
Yeah, for the first round, yeah.
For the first round, the worst is over. They've got from now up until Jan when the AFCON
to play
starts.
catch up.
To almost play catch up, but get points that will put them in a very favorable position.
Good,
of-
and not concede.
and not be like, okay, cool, we're staring relegation in the face right now, kind of thing. So the earlier you get rid of like those big boys,
But
the
they
better.
did well. They did fairly well. I mean, a draw against Chiefs and a draw against Pirates,
What about another underperforming team right now? Cape Town City?
Spurs or City?
Cape Town
Spurs.
City, they just lost 2 results in a row.
I don't look at them, eh?
They
Cape Town City lost to Skikune United on Wednesday.
Uh-huh.
And they lost their Friday night match against Supersport, which, okay.
Okay, but that's understandable, but still.
Supersport's
look,
away.
they will get their top 8. They're like that.
They've got like they almost have this thing, and I think they did the same thing last season. They almost have this
slow start.
slow start, like steam, paraffin steam, and then they go diesel, and they go petrol, and they go jet fuel.
Gone.
Yeah, look, they are on 6 points, so now they've just hit a bit of a slump, but they won their first 2 games.
Cape Town Spurs, I'm worried about.
So I heard Sean Butler saying before the window closes, which should be at the end of August, he's going to be in the market for a striker.
Okay.
I think that's one of the ailing places that he has identified. And looking at, I suppose you can go to the Motsepe Foundation to go look for a striker,
You can
because
find someone there.
if you look across the league now with players that were let go, did Majora find a team?
No, he
that's far as
hasn't. He's
I
been
know.
training on his own.
Yeah, no, that's far as I
Ah,
know.
we see that's
There's Kama as well, who's out there, lingering around.
Can you afford?
But
him?
I don't
There's,
think Kama
there's
exactly.
Ramaji. Oh no, I think he signed for Tax.
Does Majoro have the energy now?
He's experienced, and sometimes
It's
he's good
his
for
experience,
guidance
his
and.
Look, I mean, we've got Clayton
He scored lots of
Daniels.
goals.
Yeah, we've got Clayton Daniels, who's also an experienced campaigner. He's playing for Cape Town Spurs. Just that mixture of the oldies with
The young bloods.
the young bloods. Just teach. Sometimes it's not even about you playing the whole 90 minutes, almost at 80 minutes, because I was watching rugby the other day. The whole 90 minutes. It's just your presence, even if you play just a half or you come in for the last 20 minutes, just your presence on the field and the youngsters that are surrounding you almost understanding that, okay, cool, this is what Major said we must do in training. Okay, cool. When I get the ball, I must always be looking up and chances, what, in. Just having that figure, that leader
that
in
Kaizer
the
Chiefs
group.
needs, yes.
Yeah, look, I feel for me,
yes.
you should get like young blood, because that team has got like a lot of old souls, like your Michael Martin is still playing. Can you believe? Clayton Daniels, I think Nazir Ali is still there. So there's few players that are quite experienced. So you need to blend that with like new players, young players that are hungry. I don't think he should go for like a Majoro, for instance. I don't think he's going to get much out of him, because you need players that are going to play week in, week out,
Speaking of older players or people that are experienced, I've noticed something, and please tell me what you might think that is, that Zungu gets played in the final minutes of Sundowns matches.
Fitness. He's slowly coming back to fitness. Apparently he was overweight when he got back from France.
Yeah, no, he was a little bit...
So it's... I almost said Majoro because we're speaking about Majoro
Yeah.
Rulani Mokoena is using him sparingly and acquainting him to football again.
To the pace of the game.
To the pace of the game. Because apparently he actually hated football. I heard a comment where...
Is it?
Yeah.
Shocked,
where it was said that Zungu is actually starting to fall in love with the game again.
Oh, okay.
Is it after the situation? Or can't?
I don't know.
Oh, okay.
I just heard that. I just heard that he's enjoying. He's falling in love with the game again.
Okay, let's wrap up PSL, guys. Parting thoughts, PSL this weekend.
Chiefs have got a very tough year again. They're going away to... No. Amazulu is coming to them at FNB. I wonder if security is going to be beefed up.
It has to be. I mean, do they not get banned?
They're probably going to close off the tunnel. The stand across the tunnel.
With the airplane thing.
Yeah, they're going to have a tunnel to the bench. So the fans are not going to see.
No, the
literal dugout.
The PSL prosecutor, Zola Majavu, is only going to be doing the sitting on Tuesday, the 29th of August. That's when Chiefs will learn what their section next week. We'll know. Yeah.
NSL?
Yes. So
arbitration, whatever.
Yes, the PSL arbitration.
Yes, there we go. Okay.
So we'll look forward to some of this weekend's fixtures later on.
Yeah.
Moving on to a new segment.
Yes.
Around the World with Tshepi Worldwide, brought to you by Betway. Get way more. Of course, Tshepi Worldwide.
Charlie.
Let's travel around the world. So in this segment, like I said, our home fixtures earlier is Premier League and PSL. Because for us, Premier League is home. But there are other leagues, there are other things happening in the world.
Yeah.
Tshepi, you're up to date. Give us the news.
Okay, this is actually not news. Okay, let me start by saying congratulations to Spain, women's football, for winning the World Cup.
Women's World Cup.
Right?
Congratulations.
You want to have a job tomorrow.
Sorry, I'm not a president of the FA. Sorry.
Yeah, but I mean, okay, guys. So
It's
I
not a
just
laughing
want.
matter, by the way.
It's not. It's not. But is it though? Because I looked at the apology. By the way, this is us talking about the FA of Spain, the president kissing the lady, Jenny Hermoso. Hermoso. Maybe that's where the passion comes from.
That's where the passion comes
right?
from.
Because, I mean, I know that there are, and okay, actually, let me ask this question this way. Is it a culture thing and that's why we don't get it? Or is this just inappropriate?
On the lips.
So actually, yes, in many ways, Mediterranean Europe,
And
there's a lot of lip
passion.
kisses that will happen. And nothing would have happened if he kissed a man that was playing. It would have been perceived as normal. But the world has evolved. And the fact of the matter is he didn't kiss a man. If you watch the video, it seems innocuous. They're both very excited, really happy. They've clearly both genuinely happy to have won this title. Both of them. However, the concern is that this is behavior that shouldn't be allowed because you will have men who will take advantage of a situation. and say it was just the heat of the moment, it was just the situation.
Yep.
We were just excited for winning, and you take advantage of a woman who's now in a vulnerable position. And then you excuse it and you follow, and what follows is nothing. You know, nothing happens to you, no consequence. And that can't be allowed. So I think when you watch the actual event, I think you can see it on YouTube if you want to look it up. It seems innocuous. They're just both excited. He can't resist in a way.
He seems okay.
But I agree, he's done it wrong. He's done the wrong thing, I think. And it's hard to say what's going through his mind. It's hard to say what's going through her mind. I think her in the moment, you can't say she's probably taken by surprise by it, thinks nothing of it because it was just this exciting moment, whatever. And then later on, maybe the thoughts stem in.
No, she was like,
was
there
I
was a video of
comfortable
her
with
saying,
it?
I didn't like it.
Yeah,
no?
she said on social media that she didn't like it. She said to the press that it's been blown out of proportion and it was just both of them excited in the moment.
Yeah.
Is she protecting the person who pays her bills by saying that to the media?
Probably.
Do you know what I'm saying? Who knows? So I think you can't excuse the behavior, first of all.
Look, I, as you guys were talking, and especially as Marco was talking, it took me back to 2010 after Spain won the World Cup. Yes, given the circumstances were different, when Iker Casillas kissed his journalist girlfriend, who was interviewing him after they had won.
Okay.
Right?
Okay.
When you speak about the Mediterranean gesture that people almost kind of like
Misconstrue.
yes, you take it out of proportion kind of thing. This is how we show happiness, yay, kind of thing. You know, it's like going to a Greek person's house and you find them breaking plates and you're like, you guys are violent. No, that's just what they do.
Cultural thing.
You know? If Hermoso feels if she feels she was violated, then she was violated. It's we can't dictate how she must feel.
And the thing is, there's uproar in Spain. So I think that's where we need to sort of say it's not a cultural thing. If the people of Spain are like that, wasn't okay.
That's not right, yeah.
It's not right.
And also, what happens to just kissing her on the cheek, on the side, as a declaration of friendship?
Because the thing about...
Because that's what usually Europeans do.
Yeah.
Shake hands.
Let's shake hands and keep
Let's shake hands.
Did you see that he literally would grab... He's got this thing of pulling them by the neck towards him.
Yeah, look, it's wrong. I feel like he overstepped. He shouldn't have. And I think there's a bigger body that controls the Spanish FA. I think they're pushing for him to go, you know. And unfortunately for him, he's going to lose his job because of his silly behavior.
His job goodbye.
Did you guys listen? He's going to kiss his job goodbye. Did you listen to his apology?
He first said, you people are blowing out of proportion. This is what we do.
He said, if I have to apologize, I shall apologize.
Yeah,
Spanish people.
So that's the arrogance again.
He saw nothing wrong. It was natural. And I'm quoting him.
Yeah, I think he's just defending himself. He's just...
no, he should have considered.
You
take
come out, you apologize, you take responsibility. You can say you were taken up in the heat of the moment, but now in hindsight, you regret your actions and you can only apologize to the player and you wish you took it back.
So the interesting bit, right, about it, I think, is, yes, there's a whole... I've always wanted to use this word. I just never had a place for it. There's a whole hullabaloo happening around the kissing thing now, right? Literally, I think in a week or two, it would have blown over. And the FA president, the guy who kissed, I just forgot his name.
Rubiales.
He knows what forces are protecting him. Hence, he can be as arrogant and answer by saying, if you want me to if I have to apologize, then I'll do it. Right? And if you look at Spanish football and the powers that govern it, we saw it plenty times with Florentino Perez, who's the bloke who was president of Barcelona.
Which one? The one that got... which one?
Booted out. The one that got booted out, yes.
Who was in jail or...
No, not the one that went to jail. I just forgot his name. But yeah, it's there's a mafia style way of doing things, especially where football is involved. So I mean, even with the TV rights and stuff, where you got Barcelona and Real Madrid to get the lion's share of the TV rights and the rest of the teams will fight for the scraps. Such things. So I think he knows, like, nah, it's fine. You can make your noise. It's okay. This will blow over. But you ain't going to do nothing to me.
Quite interesting. And it's also unfortunate because that whole situation really overshadowed the actual celebration of, Spain winning the Women's World Cup. So congratulations to them once again. And speaking about, women doing great things in football, and I'm talking about us continental football in this case, Banyana now has gone up in their rankings.
Well done.
Congratulations, Banya. Well deserved.
Yes.
Well deserved,
definitely. Yeah. And I believe we also have Morocco has gone up.
Yes.
Yeah, Morocco's gone up.
Yes. So that's also quite pleasant. But
well done, ladies.
The one thing I noticed when I went onto the FIFA World Cup FIFA website is that they've not really updated, much because Spain is still sitting at number 7 or something. So I think they need to do that. But a big shout out to the ladies for getting that done.
No, well done.
Yeah, and I think Nigeria is the highest ranked African
in Africa.
team on
we number
the
2.
thingy.
Yeah.
So I think one of the big things with FIFA rankings is something we discussed last week with Fabrice. It's something we discussed before then as well, is the FIFA rankings determine players who have played for the national side's ability to play for international clubs, particularly the UK, where it's especially difficult to get a work visa.
Yeah.
So this will open up doors for a lot of Banyana players to play for English clubs.
You're right. Yeah. And you said top 50. So we are beautifully placed right now.
Yes.
Yeah.
So that's good news all round. Moving on.
Another one.
From Australia to elsewhere in the world.
Yes. Let's go to France.
Worldwide.
Let's go to France. Jetting off.
Thierry Henry.
Oh, I thought we were going to the rugby. Okay, Thierry Henry.
Oh, yes.
The jetting off. Why did you guys miss that?
Shit.
Okay.
Oh, snap. Let's do that again.
No. Thierry Henry. Okay, so we've got a new coaching position for Senior Henry. Monsieur.
So it's going to be the under-21 coach now, and they are going to be vying for the Olympics 2024 in Paris.
For the French men's under-21 national side.
There we go.
Thierry Henry, he's got some managerial experience. He was understudy for the Belgian national side under Roberto Martinez. Yes. He was the manager of the New York Red Bulls in Major League Soccer, which we all know.
Somebody doesn't like
Wait, MLS.
That's serious.
Where Super Sub?
That's serious credentials there for Thierry Henry.
Yeah.
So, Gareth Southgate got the England job straight after being the manager of the England under-21 side that he did very well with.
Yep.
It could be a stepping stone into national team management or perhaps a larger club football side.
Yeah. When you said that, actually, because I read somewhere, maybe Tshepi can check for us there, I think he actually took a pay cut to get that job compared to what he was earning.
Yes.
So there could be like a long-term plan, to eventually maybe be an assistant to Didier or...
No, I think Didier is doing some sort of a... I think, like with Germany, there's but I think they're just messing it up now. There's this handover type plan that happens, right? Because Joachim Low used to work with the under-21s, the German team, right? If I'm not mistaken.
I can't remember.
Neither can I.
I stand to be corrected on that. And the bulk of the team that he worked with in the under-21s are the same bunch of boys that he was coaching in 2008 at the Euros, in 2010, World Cup, in 2014 at the World Cup in Germany, ending up winning that particular World Cup with that team. So I think perhaps what the French Federation are looking at now is like, okay, cool. Dude, your job is to look for the best under-21s that we have on the African continent.
Oh, wow.
Sorry.
Wow.
Sorry, in France. And then just like harness...
And people say Africa have never won a World Cup.
We've won 2. Harness them, and then they will sort of like be a handover to the
national team.
The big national team. Don't be surprised, actually, if Thierry takes France to the 2026 FIFA World Cup in the USA/Canada/Mexico.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised.
Let's jet off elsewhere.
Yes, let's do that. Can we just congratulate our boys for doing so well against Wales over the weekend?
Which boys are
The
we?
Springboks.
Oh.
Guys,
Okay.
Keep up.
Oh, so we're getting out of one plane.
we're getting out of
We
France
are-
into
yes,
another region
we are
of
going to
France.
another.
okay.
Domestic
Come on.
flights.
Okay.
Domestic flights.
Or we can just
well done,
yeah.
Springboks.
Oh, yeah, big up to
Congratulations.
Jesse Creed was wonderful. Kanan Moody was excellent.
He was man of the match, eh?
Yeah. Man, welcome back, Sia Kolisi. Even though he played a half, but that's good because they're using him sparingly. You don't want your captain getting injured on the eve of a World Cup. Overall, Peter Steph-Dutoit, he also showed some grit.
Yeah.
But yeah, the Springboks were like they were on point.
proper,
They were onside. So big ups to them. Big ups to them. Yeah.
How was the score though for you, eh?
Yo. It was a rugby score.
It was a nice
1652.
Yeah.
What happened in 1652?
Twara.
Oh, Gadan. Okay.
Leave it.
Okay, Gadan. But well done to them.
Yeah, big ups to the Springboks, man.
So I know very little about rugby, but what I do
Yeah.
know is that they're the model to follow for sports in South Africa. South African rugby is absolutely the model to follow. It's a successful franchise and they do things right in all sectors. You look at SA schools rugby. You've got Noordval Cup this weekend coming, which is the high school national cup competition for high school rugby teams. Televised, completely well represented in terms of viewership. The tournament is over 100 years old, the Noordval Cup. So well done to the people involved in South African rugby in all divisions, in all the branches, from youth level to senior level. It's a model to follow that other sports should be looking at and saying we want to try and replicate this as closely as we can.
Yeah.
Of course, a lot of money involved in rugby in South Africa, so you can't replicate it fully for everybody. But it is a model to follow.
Yeah.
Very successful model.
Speaking of rugby, guys, before we just conclude this Tshepi worldwide thing that we're doing, so we do know that the Springboks are playing the All Blacks.
Yes.
Score predictions, that's it. Who's winning?
No, wait. This is interesting, right? Like,
Okay.
With rugby, when you do predictions, you don't say like, nah, it's 2-0, 5-0. No. You say like, okay, Springboks by 5 or New Zealand by 10
let's
or
hear
this one
you.
by 15 and that's how you do rugby predictions.
Okay.
Yeah.
So let's tell
So
us.
don't say like, they're going to win
Tell me.
50-21. No, don't. Anyway, for me, I say Jack and Rassie are very sneaky. And New Zealand by 5.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very close one. You know, I'm almost like, I feel like it's gonna be a stalemate.
A draw.
Yeah.
And okay.
It has happened before.
No. I'm not. We can't discard a draw in rugby. It has happened.
Yeah.
But between the Boks and the All Blacks,
Yeah.
okay.
Let's hear you.
Marco is
about
blank.
rugby. I'll
Even me,
back
like, this is
Springboks
like
just
whatever.
'cause.
Okay, Marco, just hoy out a number.
So I think Springboks just to edge it, just edge the game.
So that's by 3.
by a penalty, by a single try, just edge the game.
Okay.
By
So,
penalty.
Okay.
so let's put Marco's one together. So Marco says the Springboks are going to win
By Trinyan.
3 or
between
2
3 or
points.
7.
Yeah.
By a try, basically.
Yeah, when
between
you
3
don't
or
get
7.
that bonus point thing that they do in rugby, that I
That
don't know
thing.
how
That's
that
after how
thing,
many tries? I think it's 4 or
that
5.
bonus point thing
It's
for
after
lot.
4, but also that's in a league
In
type
a
of
league
format.
yeah.
So this is a
friendly.
warm-up game / friendly ahead of the World Cup.
It's fine.
So there's no
Doesn't
bonus
matter,
points.
It's fine,
win.
eh?
Okay, but
Just,
the Springboks are
just
just
a small. It doesn't matter if you win by
Hey,
inch or
Marco
a
is
mile,
giving
he's
us a
winning.
prediction, lady.
No,
I will attack.
At least
He's a small
Marco.
winner.
All Blacks.
We're
All
trying
Blacks.
to, actually
All
we're
Blacks.
doing our let's put Marco in the rock.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. You must
You know-
teach me rugby.
Yes.
Okay, so from next week,
Yeah.
Nah.
I'm learning rugby.
Even
Cool.
me. All Blacks by 10.
Okay, so where are we jetting off to next?
Oh, we're done. We're done.
We're back
So now
home.
we have concluded, and now we are going straight to the English Premier League.
Home.
There's two
Oh,
things
you're
I want to
home.
mention.
Wow.
There's two things I want to mention. I want to give a shout out to the Italian Serie A being back. I did mention this.
Yeah.
Sorry. quality football. Oh my goodness. AC Milan looked fantastic. Inter looked fantastic. Juventus looked outrageous. We've seen Federico Chiesa return to some decent form for Juventus. We've seen Dusan Vlahovic scoring goals. Juventus rampant, Fiorentina excellent. The top sides in Italian football are playing ridiculously outstanding football. It's the rise of Italian football again. And I think for me, the teams to watch in this season's Champions League out of Italy, 100%.
Margot.
That's a bold call.
Do you have Italian blood in your...
I don't. I'm Portuguese.
But
is it? I think the Italian football teams are going to show in the Champions League this season. I'm not saying that Man City won't be there. I'm not saying Bayern Munich won't be there. But I'm saying that you're going
Arsenal
to see...
won't be there.
Arsenal will play some good football in the Champions League as well. But I think that the teams to watch, the ones that are going to surprise us, are all coming out of Italy.
Interesting.
Juventus won't be there because financial fair play.
Look, I mean, last year it was Italy versus England, so
yeah, and we saw 2 Italian sides in the semifinals.
Yeah.
So,
and you speaking about Champions League. And sorry, I digress because I know we're supposed to go home. I'm looking at it now, and I genuinely don't see any team that has that thing outside of Real Madrid and Manchester City. No team is exciting me on some, I can't wait to see them play.
In the Champions League or
Bayern
in
Munich?
general?
No, in the Champions League.
Bayern Munich?
I think they've... You see, Bayern, without strong opposition around them, the likes of Red Bull,
Leipzig,
yes.
the likes of Borussia Dortmund, and all the other teams that tend to almost like lift their weight.
Mönchengladbach, it shows them flames.
Sometimes,
Yes.
those kind of teams. If they don't bring some level of a fight to Bayern,
A similar issue to PSG.
yes, Bayern tends to become very weak in the Champions League. Yes, I know they've got Harry Kane now. He's got on debut.
Yay.
Yes, I know all of that.
Yay.
But it's the Bayern that had that thing that you knew it had. The one that went on to win the Champions League. Actually, they had some quality players when the Mullahs were
firing.
Were firing. Manuel Neuer was firing. I think they had bought Mats Hummels from Borussia Dortmund at the time. Those both, I think Sabitzer was there, if I'm not mistaken. Who was in their midfield? The names are escaping.
It was a terrific Dortmund side. Mats Hummels.
No. The Bayern side.
The Bayern side.
Yes, that was very dominant. But you had a Borussia Dortmund that was bringing the fight. They were punching above their weight despite losing.
Gundo.
When Ilkay Gundogan was still at Borussia, actually, yes, you're right.
Marco Reus.
Marco Reus was still at Borussia.
I think Götze was there as well.
Mario Götze.
It's after Lewandowski had gone to Bayern. So without your surroundings being very strong and
Being competitive.
you tend to become weak. And it just looks like Bayern are just picking up where they left off. Honestly.
Well, that was Around the World with Tshepi Worldwide, brought to you by Betway. Get way more. Thank you, Tshepi. I love the new feature.
You're welcome.
Let's jet back off to
Home.
The Premier League.
Where the love is.
Look at how excited your super sub just got, you guys. If you could see him right now, it's crazy.
We just use the English channel from France.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Look at you. Geography.
Guys, Premier League, I had some predictions last week. They didn't go my way.
Which ones? Talk.
All of them. I said Chelsea would beat West Ham. That didn't happen. I said Man United would beat Spurs. That didn't happen. I said Newcastle would get a draw against Man City. That did not happen. I did say Liverpool would win their game. They somehow did, even with a red card for McAllister, which has since been rescinded. So no more ban for McAllister. So standout fixture for me, West Ham versus Chelsea. Chelsea were on the front foot the entire game, and West Ham played an absolute masterclass defensively.
They did.
So,
but may I just say that I think after Fernandes missed that penalty, then the match changed.
Yeah, I think Chelsea still had the momentum even after the Enzo Fernandes miss. Chelsea still had the momentum because that was for Chelsea to go ahead in the game.
Exactly.
I believe, because it was 1-1 at that stage. And then West Ham went and scored the second through one of my favorites, Mikel Antonio. I like him. But you just...
What a scorcher.
Oh, and he's handsome. Yeah, he is a scorcher. You're right.
Yeah, I'm talking about the goal.
It works either way.
I'm talking about the goal. Now I'm just putting it out there.
Okay.
Anyway, yes, continue.
So I think what you see is, and I'm going to bring it up on the screen here, is we look at the West Ham versus Chelsea lineup. We look at 11 versus 11 players. And then we look at the basic defensive line of West Ham. And you're seeing 4 across the back there, with 3 assisting in defending that 4-way defensive line. So that's going to be an interesting one to watch over there over the coming season, because what I found very curious about that is the 3 midfield players supporting the 4 central defenders, creating an extremely low block. But the job of those 3 midfield players is to follow up the runs and hold on to their man, make sure that their man doesn't find a pocket of space inside their defensive box. Another game that we saw in the same defensive block style was Everton versus Aston Villa.
I saw that. Aston was superb.
Everton were defending in that same low block style, 4 defenders across the back with 3 midfielders supporting that defense. And we see here, I've got a graphic up of the goal that was scored by the Aston Villa side, their first opening goal of the game. And you see a crowded box full of Everton defenders who seem to have everything in control until you've got the left winger shifting position, no one carries on his run, and then the goal is scored there. So if you watch that back again, just as the ball moves to the wing, you see the ball is then delivered into this area over here and then finished into the goal, because our main man in this position over here does not track the runner. And that's going to be a critical component of Everton's defensive game coming forward in the season. You expect Sean Dyche to sort it out pretty quickly.
Yeah, because they're compacted there. And how did they manage that?
How did they manage that? If we watch that graphic back again one more time, you see how this player has not tracked his runner.
They're not tracking their players.
And he finds himself in a pocket of space. An easy pass back from the byline means an easy tap-in goal.
But is it not a level of naivety?
Naivety.
That one too. Where if you are defending in with such a crowd of your teammates around you, you tend to become very, you lose, I don't want to say you lose concentration. You take it for granted that, okay, cool, we are all huddled up in this box.
So
chances are whoever it is and picking up runs and just having almost like a 360 type of okay, cool, I need to be aware of that's my man. Wherever he goes, I'm man marking him.
Yeah.
Or I'm going to close the spaces that he might exploit should he get the ball. There was a very, when we're looking at these, at the graphics that you have up, there was a similar situation in the game between Arsenal and Crystal Palace. I can't remember if it was Eze or one of the Palace players who literally went to sleep, and Declan Rice was able to just pull away from him and get the ball and just literally slotted it into space. But unfortunately, Edin Ketia tried to chip, but he's not Lionel Messi, so his chip did not really chip.
Yeah.
Type of thing.
And what a ball from Declan Rice.
Yes.
What a game he had, actually. Eh?
Yeah, Declan Rice was phenomenal.
Yeah, I enjoyed watching.
So I'm just talking about it's that sense of awareness. That's the phrase I was looking for.
Sense of awareness.
Sense of awareness. That you find a lot of, especially if you're defending with with a lot of personnel at the back. Like you showed the graphic with West Ham.
Yes.
They had 4 defenders and they had 3 midfielders just sitting in front of the 4 defenders.
Right in front of them, yeah.
Exactly. So in that defensive mindset, you always think like, no, there's somebody covering me.
So if I have a look again at the graphic here, you've got the 4 defensive players and their responsibility is largely the zonal marking, especially the 2 defensive central backs.
Yeah.
So their responsibility is to cover the space of the ball and perhaps deal with the number 9 who's coming into that space over there. Your left full back is defending with the ball from the right wing. Your right full back should be marking whoever's covering the back post, or they should be coming in to support and expecting the right winger to come and cover that back post. Now, the responsibility of man marking and following in runners, because your 2 central defenders are supposed to be watching the runner of your number 9 constantly. The responsibility then falls on those midfield players who are in those holding positions, who have been given the responsibility to fill these additional gaps over here, these pockets of space over there, and there. Their responsibility is to track the runners.
Okay.
And to make sure that runners don't come into those pockets of space. So it's not a zonal marking system that you will see from like set pieces, for example. That sort of disappeared from the English game because it doesn't work anymore. That the teams have figured you out because of the amount of movement that happens.
It's more of like marking the spaces.
Yes. So what's happening is your 4 midfielders, your 4 central defenders, your 4 defensive players, they are sort of zonal marking in a way. They are the ones marking the spaces, but it's your extreme responsibility, the Casemiros of this world, etc., to be tracking the runners from elsewhere on the pitch and making sure that they aren't given those pockets of space in that system. And that's where Everton fell short, and they found themselves on the end of a very heavy scoreline this weekend, 4-0.
Well, it doesn't help if you're shipping off your players to Saudi Arabia because Gray is gone, right?
Yeah.
Looks like.
And it doesn't help that you're not bringing in the right personnel because the club's not financially able to compete with other teams in the league. You've got teams like Nottingham Forest who are spending big. And I'm not talking about top 6. Everton's nowhere near there. Nowhere near. But you're looking at who they are around is Sheffield United, who I think will go down. You're looking at Wolves, who also haven't been spending money, so they're also at risk of going down, even though they had a fine performance against Manchester United on the opening weekend. They showed how poor they are again this weekend.
Yeah. Burnley today also.
Burnley, I think, Burnley have spent and they've
only
performed
played one
so
game.
well in the championship.
Yeah, they've only played one.
Yeah.
So I think Burnley, I'm sort of fine with Burnley. The thing is, Everton are on a downward slope. They've signed poorly in the past, so therefore they cannot make more signings. There's simply not enough money in the club. And I think the Frank Lampard appointment made them slip even further faster. And I think it's been a sequence of poor decision-making from Everton. I think they made one good decision at the end of last season. That was appointing Sean Dykes. That kept them up. But my concern is if that's going to be enough for them to compete in the Premier League and survive another season.
But are they giving him the right tools? Is he getting the right players?
If I were him,
And the like.
if I were him, this is where I need to have a meeting with my fitness coach and try and get Dele Ali up and running quicker. Because if they can get Dele, that we saw at Spurs, he can really, really make a difference because the electricity.
Yeah, the creative responsibility is almost completely on Decore.
Yeah.
And Calvert-Lewin hasn't been getting any supply. We know that Calvert-Lewin will score goals if he gets some sort of supply.
Yeah.
So, it's Everton.
And Gray used to bring the creativity.
Yeah.
If you remember.
I mean, for me, I'm not absolutely certain on Demarai Gray. He has quality in pockets.
You don't like Gray, Len?
Me? No, I'm waiting for you guys to finish because I want to ask a controversial question.
Please.
If Sean went into the market and said, yo, I need a creative player, I'm going to throw my dice and sign Mason Greenwood. Would that be a bad signing? And would he be judged?
Is he going to be judged
on a stake?
Wherever Mason is going to go is going to be judged. But
but not as harshly.
I'm not sure Mason Greenwood is free.
you have to pay, remember?
Yeah, Manchester United still have him under contract, so they've agreed that he won't play for the club, and they are finding a way for him
facilitating a
to
move.
leave. They're facilitating a move.
Wait, is this like the Mendy situation? Is he being released or is he still part of Man United?
He's still under contract with Manchester United.
So they're paying him.
They've
paying
mutually
him.
agreed that he's not going to play for United. They need to find him a club, and then that club has to pay a fee.
So I don't think Mason Greenwood is free. Manchester United value the player at quite a high figure. Before the controversy happened, Mason Greenwood's market value was 100 million
Over
pounds.
100, yeah.
It's crazy.
So now, like, okay, cool. You are Mason, you want to play, but the suitors that are coming in are probably saying, like, but guys, come on. Like, firstly, we have to PR this person. We have to clean his image.
Yeah.
You can't expect us to pay anything over 50.
Yeah, you need to live your
No. Mason Greenwood, I think, will go for around 15 to 20 million pounds, but that's money that I don't think Everton can even spend.
Aren't they going to get money from Gray's sale?
Is that still going
Is Damari
through?
getting sold?
From what I read, here we go.
What does that even
If
mean?
it's from here we go.
Hey, I read here we go.
It's
Guys,
credible.
can I tell you my Here We Go story? Yeah. I read Here We Go for Sergio Ramos, and I still said it on the show, to be joining a Moroccan club. And that has not happened. So now I'm embarrassed.
He's still at PSG.
He's still at free agent.
Well,
He's got no club.
oh,
And Besiktas were linked with a move for him, but they can't afford his wages.
they're making some pretty decent signings, eh?
The Turkish league are signing good players.
Yeah.
Fenerbahce, Besiktas, and Galatasaray.
Because I know Oxlade is there.
Speaking of Galatasaray, I think they're playing today in Champions League.
Guys, speaking of things, sorry, I've let us get carried away today. We need to make some predictions for this coming weekend, powered by Betway on the Betway app. We're making our bets, and we have to close off the show. And let's start off in the Premier League, guys.
So we do it so is this like we are voting and then the majority wins for what we're going with?
So we are Zimbabwe today.
We are Zimbabwe today.
Yeah.
Cool.
We're
The
democracy.
voting doesn't count.
Sure, Mnanga.
No, I do not say that.
Guys, it's my money, okay? So don't feel worried.
Okay,
It's my
Moreki.
money going, yeah.
Okay, cool.
And I'm going to let it be a democracy, because last week I picked so badly for myself anyway, so I'll let you guys
And
help
I
me.
was called a Man United hater.
Okay.
Hey.
So because it's democracy, we're not Zimbabwe.
Wow.
What? They're having the elections this week and you're saying that?
I thought
Yeah.
Now the controversy is here.
Yeah.
Guys, if we're still here next week, any
Yeah.
of us.
Without somebody.
Okay, so looking at fixtures, I want to start with the big bad fixture.
Yeah.
The big one, Newcastle United on Tyneside, ready to take on Liverpool. What are we looking at?
I say Newcastle win.
St. James Park, Newcastle.
Tshepi?
I say Liverpool win.
I'm going to overrule you, Tshepi. The bookmakers make Newcastle the home favourite, only just. And I expect them to bounce back. I might have been leaning towards a draw, but I'll go with a Newcastle win with you guys there on this one. I think that Liverpool are just one step behind where they're going to be. I think Liverpool are going to be a force this season, but they're not there yet. They're just that like one small step behind.
They just need one thing.
And I think Newcastle are flying. I think they played a very good game against Manchester City. I think City were just too strong for them.
The problem is with City, well, with Arsenal, we know they will blow it. But with City, don't allow them to open a gap that's longer than 9, 12 points, because chances of you catching them is almost nothing.
We know
Well, it's
City going to win
impossible.
the league already.
Okay.
We know this.
Look at that smug.
And Bernardo has signed, eh? Yeah, you can ignore the news all you want.
Bernardo has signed.
renewed his contract. Josko Gvardiol fitted right into that City side on the weekend on his full debut.
And there's this kid that you
just want him
City
to
is trying to sign.
Who?
What's his
City.
name?
Oh, from Rennes.
Yes.
Yeah, that deal I think is gonna go through because it was
Decorah.
not linked to the Paqueta deal because they pulled
Yeah,
out.
yeah.
They pulled out
Yeah.
of the Paqueta deal.
Hey, what's he betting on? What's he do?
All I know is he's got a Betway account. Big ups, Paketa. Big ups, Paketa.
Be with you.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on to other fixtures. We wanted to have a look at this one. Is a very interesting one for me. Brighton versus West Ham.
Hey.
I thought West Ham were excellent against Chelsea.
Yeah,
I
they
thought
were
Chelsea
brilliant.
played good football, and I think West Ham defended like beautifully. Brighton are at home.
I give it to West Ham.
Brighton are free flying. West Ham to win.
Yes.
At Brighton.
For a win, yes.
I give it to Brighton.
I think that's the only West Ham to win call that we get here.
No, that's fine, guys. You know what? It's okay. Like, still.
Hey, if you win, your odds are 5.4.
You mean when I
make
win?
money.
Yes, win I win.
Okay, so
I think Brighton. Brighton is one of those teams that they just seem like, you know what? Yeah, cool. We've sold some of the star players, and then
we replace them with better.
open the factory. There's like, yeah, bring me that one at the back. Yeah.
Come.
Replace better, and then you're gonna come again, buy, and they're just like a well-oiled machine that just keeps producing and producing and producing.
Okay.
Super sub.
Brighton at home. I think Tshepi will want to go 3 out of 3, eh?
So that's already 2 of the 4 picks, and I'm gonna go with the Brighton win as well, 3 out of 3.
Okay.
Small win. I don't think they're gonna score lots of goals, but I think with this Brighton team at home, you can defend however you want. You're not stopping them. The other fixture that we picked out for this coming weekend from the Premier League was
Palace?
Was it Crystal Palace?
Yes, Brentford.
Versus Brentford. So Crystal Palace are traveling to Brentford.
Palace, look, they
2 good sides.
yeah, but Palace seem to perform better on a Monday night more than they generally do. I think
When Arsenal's in town.
Their rivalry.
apparently every time Arsenal play Crystal Palace, it's the first round of games. It's always on a Monday night.
That's interesting.
That's quite interesting. And another interesting thing is that the last 3 encounters have been a stalemate. 0-0, 1-1, 1-1.
So Arsenal managed to...
And they narrowly escaped, Arsenal, that fixture.
Yes. But with that game, Brentford, they started their season well as well, even without Mr. Tony, who seems to be a big Arsenal fan. Got you. Oh, does he have a Betway account as well?
His friends has.
Anyway, I go Brentford for a win.
Yeah, Brentford for a win. I think, Brentford.
I go Palace.
Now,
Tshepi's
Palace
against
blow
the
hot and
grain.
cold, eh?
Tshepi's against
Yeah,
the grain.
but that's what we said
I would
last
have called a
week.
draw, so I'm going to go with the Brentford one as well. I'm looking at lots of draws for me this weekend, but
I think this is actually
we've
going
gone
to
for
be a draw.
3
You're correct.
home wins
Yeah.
so far. And then the last fixture on our list over here, we were looking at AFC Bournemouth versus Tottenham Hotspur. Spurs away from home, traveling to Bournemouth, the Cherries, who have their new manager.
For me, look, Spurs will have the Spirits will be very high after that masterclass of a performance against a certain
Terrific.
team that I will not mention.
That was terrific.
Because
won't lie.
I don't want to hurt certain people. Manchester United. Yes, I said it. I think Spurs, they want to build on that momentum. They want to show that no Hurricane, no problem. And we can do it. We've got the personnel to do it. Madison, he is just amazing.
Yes, it's
To
just
watch.
playing beautiful, eh?
Terrific.
Nice.
And James Ward-Prowse, the 2 Jameses.
Yeah, no,
Yes.
James Ward-Prowse, straight into that West Ham team, straight onto corner duty, straight into assists. So, yeah.
So I go Spurs. Spurs straight win.
Spurs traveling to Bournemouth.
Yeah, that ground is always difficult. I think it's going to be a draw.
Tshepi.
I go for Tottenham. Once again.
Tottenham win it is because I'm outvoted here. So Tottenham win.
Super Sub is outvoted.
Now we switch over to the PSL.
Kasi Super Diski.
Babize bonke.
Yebo. What? The DSTV Premiership? You talking about that one? Okay.
The League of Miracles.
Hey,
Yes.
man.
Okay, Kaizer Chiefs versus Amazulu. Do Chiefs even turn it around?
I think Chiefs is going to turn it around. And also, Amazon has not played a single match this season. Am I the only person who's seeing this? Or am I seeing things? So I'm not entirely sure exactly how they are going to perform. Correct me if I'm wrong. Please check for me.
AmaZulu
has not played
3 matches.
Are you serious?
Yes.
3 draws.
Oh, yes.
They just have not won again.
Yeah, no.
won
I give
a
this to
single
Kaizer Chiefs. I give it to Kaizer Chiefs.
Kaizer Chiefs at home. It's being played at
FNB Stadium.
FNB Stadium.
Yes. Yeah. Not because
Kaizer Chiefs
I
are
have
favourites.
faith in Kaizer Chiefs.
Yeah, I think AmaZulu haven't scored a goal this season.
They haven't scored, they haven't conceded.
They're
They're just there.
Clean.
They're just gonna go. And
So you think another one?
yeah, I'm going for AmaZulu.
AmaZulu to win.
Yeah, against Chiefs. Yeah.
Okay.
Wow, okay.
Len?
I'm going for a draw.
I'd also go for
Like
a
a
draw.
0-0.
So it has 0-0 written all over it, that one. So I'm going to join you on that one. And then we've got
Supersport.
Supersport United
Stellies.
versus Stellies.
Yes.
Traveling to Stellenbosch for this one. Small ground. Stellenbosch did very well against Pirates in that game.
Yeah.
Yeah, look, I think I'm gonna go with Supersport. Revenge is best served as a cold dish.
Yes, in a very cold stadium.
Stellenbosch at home, not a very easy mountain to climb. What?
There's a mountain behind that stadium.
Stellenbosch at home, very difficult side to beat. And you can see they lost quite a number of their key players, right? But they've managed to make amends in certain positions. And I mean, for Steve Barker, I mean, he's probably sitting there on some I've done one over Gavin before. I can do it again.
So you're going for a Stellenbosch win?
I'm going for a Stellenbosch win.
Tshepi?
I'm going for Supersport win. It might be just a 1-0. The one thing I've noticed about Supersport is that they don't really score a lot of goals, but they've never conceded since playing any match.
Okay, well, that's
Yeah.
our bet scene. I'm going to join you with the Supersport away win. And that, ladies and gents,
Before you go,
Wait.
shout out to Black Boy. He's sitting pretty there on ONSIDE ZT. He's number 1 there on our fantasy league.
Fantasy League, yes.
So Black Boy
guys, I don't want
FC.
to talk about fantasy.
Dude, I had a bad weekend. No, please understand. I had a bad weekend.
What happened?
No. Like, my fantasy weekend was bad.
It's fine. We'll talk about it next week.
33 points.
Yeah,
Really?
no, you pop.
I was below the average.
Talking about below average Manchester United, below average Kaizer Chiefs, more fixtures coming this weekend. Thank you, as always, to you, the ballers, for joining us here on ONSIDE ZA. Keep the
That's
comments
right.
coming. Keep joining us. Tshepi Worldwide, thank you so much.
Darling.
Len Moleko, thank you so much. Super Sub, thank you so
Danko.
much. And most of all, thank you to the ballers. Proudly brought to you by Betway, ONSIDE ZA. Betway, get way more. Remember, stay onside, don't be offside. Stay onside.